Hello, welcome back to Statman Dave Clips. Today we're going to be taking a look at Liverpool transfer target Ibrahima Konate and what he could bring Jurgen Klopp's side. A dominant 1v1 defender in the ilk of Virgil Van Dijk. Of course, if you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button. Of course, like that goddamn video. Let's get the party started. Because, guys, there's a new bit of news on the horizon. That is Ibrahima Konate to Liverpool. RB Leipzig's centre-back extraordinaire, future France international, could be set to join Liverpool. The last time that Liverpool went to Red Bull, and they bought someone, RB Keita, was there. And there was a similar type of situation where Leipzig pretended that they didn't, or the Red Bull group pretended they didn't receive a bid for Ibrahima Konate. Ibrahima Konate for Naby Keita, and then very much Naby Keita joined Liverpool. In terms of Ibrahima Konate, he's a player that I really, really like. He's a player that is very, very dominant. And I think that's something that Liverpool need, Jurgen Klopp's teams need, is dominant centre-halves. We've seen over this season how they've really struggled without Virgil van Dijk. But, pre to his injury is one of those things where you're looking at Liverpool's defence. How can they improve it? Probably the only thing that they could improve, both fullbacks, two of the best in the world. Virgil van Dijk, on his day, is the best centre-half in the world. They need a partner. I like Joe Gomez. I like Joel Matip. But Ibrahima Konate would be an elite-level acquisition for Liverpool. Would slot in next to Virgil van Dijk seamlessly into the side. And I think that's something that Liverpool have got to look at. Of course, they've brought in players to kind of, a bit of a stopgap in a sense. The likes of Nate Silva's been playing centre-back for them. Ozan Kabak as well was brought in from Schalke on loan, who's looked really good. Thought he was very good up against Wolverhampton Wanderers. Really mature display. We're looking at his stats: 6 clearances, 3 interceptions, 2 tackles, 1 last man tackle as well, winning 4 out of his 6 aerial duels. Good option. But when I've seen Ibrahima Konate play for Leipzig, obviously I watch quite a lot of German football, and Leipzig are one of my favourite sides over there. Konate is a superb footballer. His only issues have been injuries. Had a really good last few seasons where he was fit for a lot of the campaign, but this season very much in and out of the side, in and out with injury. And I think that's something that we've got to look at him as a signing for Liverpool. Do they need someone a little bit more reliable? But I think the big thing when he's fit, when he's back into that kind of like dominant form, he's a superb defender. And the game against Bayern Munich in the Bundesliga last season, he was absolutely superb, was super, super dominant in a sense of winning 50-50s. And this was one of the games where you think, okay, this guy has just stepped up from being a centre-back that we can enjoy, that has a lot of talent and potential, super good at winning the ball back in the air on the deck. This was where he dealt with Robert Lewandowski pretty much by himself. 6 clearances in the game, 1 interception, 2 tackles, won 8 out of his 13 aerial duels. There were moments in that game where he was just dominant up against the best forward in the world, Robert Lewandowski. And I like that about Konate, that he rose to the challenge. The other side of Konate, obviously, there's that 2 sides of his game. He's still a young player, 21 years old, so there's still room and improvement to sort of go down. He is a good ball player in a sense. Obviously, the game against Bayern, it's going to be high pressing, high octane. Pass accuracies are likely to be down, but I've seen him control games, seen him step out the back, similar to Upamecano, who's now moving to Bayern Munich. That similar type of ball-playing centre-half is what Konate is. And I think that with him long-term, he's going to really, really become something special. But there's still games in him. So, for example, the Manchester United Champions League game at Old Trafford. United won 5-0, a whole load of goals in the last sort of 10 minutes of the game, or last sort of phase of the game. And Konate didn't have the greatest of games, was caught out for one of the goals. Got beat by, I think Rashford beat him in the dribble. We can see there 2 out of his 5 ground duels won. So he's dealt with someone like Lewandowski, which is incredible to say at 21 years old that he's pocketed one of the best number 9s in European football. But maybe it's kind of dealing with those pacier, trickier forwards like a Marcus Rashford, that if he does move to Liverpool, that's definitely something he needs to sort of work on. But statistically and stylistically, perfect for Liverpool. Liverpool obviously play a high press. They play they play situations where they are going man for man at the back. That's what you need at your centre half. You need them to win and be dominant in aerial duels and ground duels. That's why you've got the likes of Van Dijk being so good because he's so dominant. Konate could be that guy for Liverpool for me. And you're looking at the start of it, yeah, he'd come into partner Virgil van Dijk, but maybe long term could come in to replace Virgil van Dijk. When you're looking at Liverpool in terms of their squad and their recent recruitment, we mentioned Kabak in terms of potentially a long-term player for them. Again, we've got to take a look at the likes of Kabak, brought in from the Bundesliga, 21 years old, a lot of potential. And I think that's a big thing, that with the future of Liverpool, Virgil van Dijk is not going to be around forever. And we've started to see him sort of come into form. We can look at the scores that he's getting there, from having a stinker against Leicester City where he was dealing with the balls wrong. There was that moment where he moved over to deal with James Maddison when he should have stuck with Jamie Vardy, and I think Leicester scored off the back of that. But in recent weeks, games against Everton, Sheffield United, Chelsea was very, very good, and I thought he was probably I think he was man of the match against Wolverhampton Wanderers. And I think long term could step up. And you're thinking Konate, Kabak in a defence together could be the solution for Jurgen Klopp. We're talking 3-4 years down the line. Obviously, the other players that Liverpool have looked at, Sven Botman at Lille, looks like an absolute player as well. Bastoni, Inter Milan, left-footed centre-half. You're looking at David Carmo, who's been linked with Liverpool. I think the interesting side with Liverpool's recruitment, if they get Konate, that's one centre-back sorted for 5 to 10 years. That's how much I rate Konate. I really, really like him. And it's a little frustrating to hear that he's moving to Liverpool as a Manchester United fan, but we've got to forget about that. But I think it'd be a superb move if they go and get him, and could be, relatively cheaper than other players, given the relationship between Red Bull and Liverpool. They've done a lot of transfers together, so that flow of money and transfer fee is kind of there, so would be really good. And Leipzig have hopefully got some young lads coming in to step and replace Upamecano and Konate. There's a lad from Dynamo Zagreb, I can't remember his name, but one to watch in the future. Thanks for checking out this video on Ibrahima Konate. We've got more wonderful stuff over on Twitch, so make sure you come and join us on Mondays, Thursdays and Fridays. And of course, smack that like button, hit a little subscribe so the party can get started wherever you are. We'll see you in the next one.